friends, and welcome back to another episode of Superhero Saturday, except out in the wild. My name is Annie, and it's kind of weird being outside of the studio, but here we are today at OMSI, which is the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry, because they have a whole exhibit dedicated to the Marvel Universe. So let's get inside and check it out. Come on! The Oregon Museum of Science and Industry has been around in some form for over 100 years. It has a long history of educating the public about local natural resources, feats of engineering, and science concepts in a way that is accessible and, honestly, entertaining. Ever since its inception, it's been a hit with school children and adults alike, with a wide variety of hands-on exhibits focusing on fields like geology, astronomy, biology, ecology, technology, anthropology, and more, including pop culture, like we'll see today. I've loved this museum ever since I was little, and when I heard that this Marvel Universe of Superheroes exhibit was coming to town, I knew I had to be there. So let's take a quick look inside. I promise there are only a few spoilers. This massive two-story exhibit is designed to take you through the history of Marvel Entertainment's most famous superhero stories, as well as showcase popular and significant characters. They also show plenty of behind-the-scenes details for most of the different mediums these super characters appear in, from comic books and blockbuster movies to TV shows, video games, and animation. The exhibit houses many key historical artifacts, both vintage and contemporary, that are either presented in stunning displays or set up for interactive learning, staying true to the museum's vision of multifaceted education. Original line art, animation designs, movie props, and more line the walls in each room, always accompanied by an interpretive poster to help visitors understand the piece's place in history. It's really cool. There's also plenty of floor space dedicated to the art of storytelling itself, which I really enjoyed. Visitors can see how classic comic books were assembled, from visions and sketches to inking and lettering to printing and distribution. The Marvel Method, a production style coined in part by icon Stan Lee, shows how the individual artists contributed their unique style in every stage of every story. Of course, since this is an exclusively Marvel-focused exhibit, the historical records are obviously biased toward hyping up all things Marvel Entertainment. But who can blame them? This company is one of the major modern and historical players in superhero history overall, and they've produced some fantastic superhero stories over the years. So it's a good way to glean some of the high points of superhero history in one go, as well as seeing all the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes into making those stories. Plus, it's really incredible just to see the overall near century of Marvel superhero history on display like this in one place. And while it's a little biased, it's definitely not blind to the troubles of the past. One of my favorite lines in this exhibit comes from the She-Hulk display, which is great because she's one of my new favorite characters and her story is often overshadowed by controversy. It reads, "It is possible to trace changing historical attitudes toward the idea of empowered women through Marvel's different representations of this fascinating character." In other words, in previous iterations of this and many other characters, their presentation was less than empowering. But Marvel was almost always working toward providing platforms for better and more diverse voices in their storytelling. And that is plainly evident throughout this exhibit as well. As you can see, there are also tons of displays that are perfect for taking selfies and getting a better first-person perspective on what these blockbuster-sized heroes might look like in real life. Kudos to OMSI for making the exhibit entirely photo-friendly. It's really all you want to do once you step inside anyway. Plus, I didn't have to feel so weird about having my camera out the whole time. Probably my favorite part of the whole museum was seeing the movie costumes in person. On the big screen, these characters are larger than life, literally, and it's hard to imagine them walking down the street or chasing down a bad guy. Here, however, with the incredible props and costumes displayed within arm's reach, they seemed smaller, and yet more awesome for the amount of intricate detail that went into making and designing each one. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, but this is supposed to be the test or act, and TBH, it looks a little lame. My least favorite part of the exhibit, by far, was the Doctor Strange / Multiverse section. Objectively, it was a good idea to use mirrors, dark lighting, and visual projections behind glass to mimic this feeling of being in the mirrored dimension, but I got really motion sick really fast, so I wasn't able to stay in there very long, which was a bummer. On the plus side, after that section was over, it wasn't long before we reached the gift shop, where there were a few really cool and reasonably priced items. I feel seen. But then some less than unique items that were way overpriced. Seriously, if you want a Marvel hat, just grab one at Walmart for like $10 and wear it to the museum. You'll save yourself at least the price of admission. And finally, as you exit the Marvel section of the museum, you'll see a few superhero-like posters that call you back to your current location in Oregon. Since this is a collaboration by Semel Exhibitions and Mopop, the Museum of Popular Culture, OMSI went ahead and gave this final hallway their own spin with this display of Pacific Northwest native flora and fauna and the cool things that make them unique. Very classy. Overall, it was a couple of hours of superheroic fun for all ages, and I would totally recommend it. Just make sure you bring your camera with you to get those cool shots with your favorite characters. All right, and we're back outside. It was actually super fun. There was a lot of really interesting facts, a wide shot of all sorts of different types of characters throughout history, and the gift shop was pretty cool too, although the prices were interesting, to say the least. Thanks for coming with me on this journey today, Super Friends. If you get a chance to see this, totally do. I definitely recommend it. I think it's only open here in Portland until April, but it might be moving somewhere else after that. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more superheroic content like this every other week. And if you want to check out my own original superheroes, you can go to our website at www.fearless9.com. Thanks again for watching, Super Friends, and we'll see you next time.